All right, welcome back to Civic Engagement with Raymond Tyler. I'm here with Stephen Young from the National Action Network, Southern New Jersey chapter, and the Peacekeepers. And when we're talking about the Stanley Holmes situation, which has been in the Atlantic City press almost every day for the last year or so. You were saying behind the scenes that one of the reasons why you can't say, again, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but one of the reasons why you can't say yes or no to tearing down that particular public housing development is because there are people who want to leave, but there are people who want to stay.
Yes, and like I was saying, there's people. Some people been there 15, 20 years. Some even been there more, and they're seniors.
Okay.
And they have seen generations of their children come and go, but they still there.
Right.
And what happened, they don't want to go nowhere. They said, I know my neighbor. I know also, I got the store down the street. Public transportation is right there. My doctor's around the corner. Why should I move out of town? Why should I move at all?
Okay.
So it's things like that we take for granted. And also, if you stay a place 15 to 20 years, you build up even your space.
Yeah.
It's a lot to pack up and leave.
Yes.
And being 70, 80 years old, it's not an easy task to move and go where.
Yes.
There's no plan to say where you miss this place.
Right.
And it reminds me of what's going on in Gaza. It's
Now
No, I can say it. I know how to say it. Listen to this.
Okay.
Imagine your home. You've been living there for years. All of a sudden, the government say, you're going to be misplaced.
Okay.
We're going to tear them down.
Okay.
So either you move or we're going to move you.
Right.
And we're going to put you over here in a place almost like a plantation. And you're going to have to survive on your own over there because we're going to rebuild over here. That's the same thing that's going on in Stanley Holmes.
But
What's the
respectfully, I don't think Atlantic City government wants to move people to plantations or concentration areas.
If you
I could be wrong, but again, I'm not here to put words in nobody's mouth.
If you don't know where you're going to move them, what are you saying?
And I do understand that it's easy for me to talk about it in a hypothetical, being that I'm not in the mix. And it's different when you're in the mix and you don't know. People talking about about moving me, but they're not saying where they're going to move me to. So I
the
get
mindset.
That. I get that.
The mindset of what's going on over there, I don't know where I'm going,
Right.
but I got to go.
But I got to go.
That's the mindset here. I don't know where I'm going, but they said I got to go.
Okay.
What's the difference?
Can it be said that Stanley Holmes, the way it's set up right now, March 5th, 2024, is not working though?
It's not working well?
Yes.
That's an understatement.
Okay, all right.
Because what happened, there's still no inclusion. And when you see a board talk down on the residents saying, oh, they tore it up themselves. And they're going through enough, no heat and hot water. You have a board member saying, oh, they just exaggerate. Well, we have had press conferences. We have had the news reporters come. The inspectors came. Everybody's seen this. And you on the board making decisions for the residents. And you're saying, oh, that they just exaggerating. That's not true what's going on. And they need to stop. So when a board member said that, I went to the board member and said, if you got something like that to say to any of these residents again, and I'm advocating on behalf of them, come directly to me and tell me that. Don't you ever get into a meeting or nowhere and say these type of things and talk down on our residents when they have human rights violations being happening. So that's saying also you manifested, you the problem. If you don't see that, you're the problem. Okay. So we're telling HUD also, dismantle the board. If they've been stopping contracts from being done, if they've been changing executive directors, if they've harassing people for being whistleblowers, And if they, whistleblowers mean some employee wants to expose what's going on, but you're going to terminate them instead of fix the problem. That reality, that has happened in the housing authority. And then, it's about dictatorship. When you have one of your elected officials is the chairperson of the housing authority, where's the checks and balances? The politicians don't want to say nothing because that's one of their friends that's on the board, the chairperson of the board. So we have those type of conflicts in front of us as well. And the way to get past that, dismantle that board, we did at 31 North Virginia Avenue. When we took the owner to court, we had them appoint a court-appointed administrator. That's just like if you go to bankruptcy court, and they give you a bankruptcy trustee to oversee your funds until you get to a certain place where you can survive on your own. That's what we need, like yesterday. And when HUD came here last week, that's what we told him to do. He said, what do you think we should do? I said, dismantle on that board and you can get a judge to do this tomorrow. And because it's not their board's money, it belongs to the residents. If the residents wasn't there, they wouldn't have no board, they wouldn't have no money, wouldn't be no employees, it wouldn't be no need for elected officials. So therefore, it's the people's money.
If you're just tuning in, this is Civic Engagement with Raymond Tyler. He's Stephen Young. We're discussing the situation at Stanley Holmes Village in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Let's switch gears a little bit as we begin to wrap up. As a member of the community who may not be a part of the National Action Network, who may not be a part of the Peacekeepers, well, first of all, I tell you what, who and what are the Peacekeepers? Let me ask you that first.
Peacekeepers are men and women in the community that's trained in CPR, first aid, proper way of handling people, and conflict resolution. Especially the proper way of handling people. We don't know how to interact with our people. So we've trained to do that and go out in the community and we do what we call an hour of power. And we have shirts on that say, I am present for peace. So you take some responsibility for peace. So at least for that hour. So we interact with the community. So now the community see peace. Without a gun, without a police officer. But if we're there for an hour, and the police come for an hour, clergy come for an hour, we should be able to clean up our communities. But we have to network together to do that. And that's why our youth is so important. When it comes to civil engagement, what we are doing now is we started a nonprofit called Community Resource Services, Inc. And what we do with our young people, we engage them in civil engagement. And what we mean by that, we'll go to anywhere in the community, set up a table, feed people. Either soup, sandwiches, so the youth are engaged. They on the boots on the ground of seeing their community. In a positive way. The community see the young people, positive engagement. So when we went there, we went to Trenton. And we went to another youth, like a center, right? And the youth there had prepared breakfast for our youth. So they sat at the table for the first time, a round table, and we broke bread together. So after that, they did a podcast and talked about what to finish the conversation from the dinner table, from the breakfast table. So then we went further, right? And some youth was learning chess. And they were learning chess, and they were loving how to play chess. And those are the type of engagement. Then they went outside and played basketball. And we did the same thing in Newark, in Brick City, and 400 Hawthorne, and probably the worst place in Newark. But it shows the interaction and the civil engagement. when we had a crisis here with our water in
Right.
Atlantic City,
Right.
we got those youth together and we gave out close to 21,000 bottles of water during a crisis when there was no water to be sold, all the stores was out of water
Okay.
because it was something contaminating our water at the time.
Right.
So we just went and did those things. And the residents seen our young people engaged in community service without no catches to it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they feel so proud of what they're doing. You know what we're gonna do this weekend? We're gonna get some fruit. We're going up on the boardwalk. And we're gonna hand out fruit to everybody.
Okay.
Anybody that's walking. Everybody likes fruit.
Everybody likes
You don't have to be homeless, you don't have to be hungry. Look, you'll save it for later and eat.
Okay.
But it's engagement.
Yes.
And we are people, it's a human thing
Right.
that we don't feel. Where you gonna learn that at? You ain't gonna learn that in school.
Okay. All
So
right.
civic engagement is we creating a civil engagement for our young people so they can become truly public servants because
Okay.
they experience it now.
Okay. All right. And then tell us about your role with the National Action Network locally, please.
Oh man, we have coming up on the 13th, the ombudsman. The ombudsman is basically like a neutral person from the Department of Corrections.
Okay.
So anybody that have issues with their loved one being incarcerated,
Okay.
even going to see them or whatever they've been doing a complaint, we're bringing them to Soldiers Home,
Okay.
and they're going to actually listen to the people as a round table and say, listen, these things need to be changed. This is not right in this facility. That is not right in this facility. Some things we see that's right and it's working. How else can the Department of Corrections understand unless they go with the people, within the people? So we actually bringing them here as a National Action Network and to do that. We have traveled, we've took our young people to Washington, to March on Washington, Martin Luther King III and others with thousands and thousands of people from all over the country. And that's a very interactive time.
Right.
It's like when Martin Luther King was marching, you know what I mean? And they marched. And now they felt part of history. So now they know where they came from and they have a direction of where they're going.
Okay.
So those are some of the things we've done. We've been helping a lot of mothers have IEPs, individual education plan for their children in
Okay.
schools. When their children's rights are being violated, they put them in the classroom and say, look, you just stay over there. We're not having that no more. So when they come to us, we meet with the whole staff of the school, even sometimes the superintendent, and
Okay.
say, look, these mothers and these fathers, they may not know their rights, but we're here to make sure their rights are not violated. So there's a lot of things we've done. We've had recently the transportation through the New Jersey Transportation Authority. They've been having a lot of racial issues, firing people, terminating them, bringing them back, so forth, and we are helping them. And we've been talking to the unions and tell the unions, you got to step up. These people have been paying union dues for years, but it comes for standing up for them. Where you at? So we're going to educate the unions as well, how to fight and what to fight for.
This is Civic Engagement with Raymond Tyler. And we are here with one and only Stephen Young. That is about the end of our interview. Just asking you one more time, if somebody wants to get in contact with you, either to help or to ask questions about how you might be able to help them, what's the best ways for them to contact you?
Well, one thing I want to mention right quick is breaking news as well. We've been networking. We've been having a lot of violence in Atlantic City. We had like 5 to 6 shootings in the first 30 days of the year.
Okay.
So it's actually like a state of emergency. So we got to get a hold of that. And law enforcement can't do it by themselves. So we reached out to some national representatives that's been people on the streets that has credibility to network and come here and show everybody how we need to network together. So that's something that's going to be coming up very soon. You can reach National Action Network, us at 888-4 400-1236. Our convention is coming in April in New York. You can go and sign up now, www.nationalactionnetwork.net. And that's how you can reach us. And other than that, you can see us in the street.
All right. This is Civic Engagement with Raymond Tyler. I am Raymond Tyler. I want to say thank you to Stephen Young for taking time out of his busy schedule to be with us, and especially to give us his perspective and his take on what's happening currently in Stanley Holmes. I also need to thank Toby, Rosenthal, Aaron, Jacob, and Beyonce, everybody who's involved with Stories of Atlantic City. I'd like to thank Alex Marino. I'd like to thank the staff here at Stockton University's Atlantic City campus, where we are taping today's show. Toby, Alex, John, Aaron have all been instrumental in allowing us to use this facility, which is the Community Reporting Innovation Lab here on the campus of Stockton University, Atlantic City. It always seems weird to say Stockton University, Atlantic City, but I guess we'll get used to that as the years go by. So yeah, we're right off of the boardwalk. I want to say thank you to everybody with Stories of Atlantic City in Stockton, Atlantic City. I want to send a shout out and say thank you on behalf of everybody in Atlantic City Focus who makes this happen as well. So on behalf of Mark Tyler, Norris Hype, Krishna Matthias, and everybody over at AtlanticCityFocus.com, my name is Raymond Tyler, and this has been Civic Engagement.